The borrower did not lose income. The documents did not disappear, but the qualifying income changed and the loan fell apart. Same job, same employer, same stubs in the folder. So why is everyone suddenly calling the borrower unqualified? Synthetic example. One borrower, stable W-2 job, looks strong on paper. Recent stubs feel like about 8,000 a month. That's the number the loan officer expected, and the number everyone kept repeating, expected monthly income, 8,000. The file starts to move with that picture in mind. Then the income is reviewed and the qualifying number comes back lower, not 8,000, closer to 6,400. Supported qualifying income 6,400. Same borrower, same stubs, different number. The borrower's actual paycheck did not change. The calculation treatment changed. Put the two figures side by side, expected monthly income 8,000, supported qualifying income 6,400. Where did 1,600 go? Start with what the documents actually support. Base wages land around 5,800. Recent overtime and a one-time bonus pushed the latest stubs toward 8,000. That is why the higher number looked reasonable at first, but variable pay is not automatically qualifying income. History matters, stability matters. How that pay is averaged or whether it is supported at all matters. Two people can look at the same pay documents and derive different numbers if the assumptions differ. That does not automatically mean anyone made a bad decision. It means the calculation has to be reconstructed. AUS results are driven by the income figures and characteristics entered. If the amount, type, or characteristics change, the recommendation can change because the engine evaluates what was submitted. In this file, the higher number was entered first. Once the documentation was reviewed, the supported number changed. An approve, eligible, or accept recommendation does not certify that the income was calculated correctly or fully documented. The engine evaluated the number entered. Verifying how that number was derived is a separate human step. Even after a positive AUS finding, an underwriter can reduce or reject income the documentation does not support, which can change the outcome. The recommendation reflects the entered figure. The documentation determines what income is actually usable. In our synthetic case, the documentation did not fully support treating the recent overtime and bonus as fully supported recurring income. The supported figure came down, the loan got harder, not because the borrower stopped earning, but because the file could not carry the number the room wanted. Do not jump to bad borrower. Do not jump to bad underwriter. Ask what actually failed: the calculation, the data entry, the documentation, or the income itself under the applicable method. There is no universal income formula. How income is calculated depends on the income type, the program, and the documentation path, and any general statement must be qualified by those. A licensed professional applies the method that fits the file, and if you find a real error, a wrong figure, a wrong type, a misapplied method, missing support for income the borrower already has, fix the accuracy. Correcting a calculation or data entry error means making the file accurately reflect income the borrower already has and can document. That is different from manufacturing income and increasing, inventing, or misrepresenting it, which is never a rescue path. A corrected calculation may change the result. It does not promise approval. It makes the file accurate. Here is the rule worth keeping. Before you call the borrower unqualified, prove the income was calculated correctly. Expected monthly income versus supported qualifying income. Find the difference. Document the method. Do not invent income. When the number does not match the story the stubs seem to tell, Risk Sculptor helps you reconstruct the calculation before you decide what to do next.